If you're going to Honduras and you're a sister, first things first, like, you can basically throw out your makeup because it is so hot and humid there that you will literally just like sweat it all off. You can bring a little bit, but really it's like, I didn't wear makeup almost my whole mission and it's totally fine. Like, it's not, I know like in the missionary handbook, there's like all these beautiful sister missionaries that look so great with their hair done and they look lovely, but that's just not reality there. It is hot and sweaty and you'll be walking in 110-degree weather and it will be humid and, you know, just, it's okay. Like, you don't have to look beautiful. So, and also like hair wise, literally my hair's in a ponytail almost every day because it's so hot and humid that you don't really want your hair touching your skin that often. Also for clothes wise, you want things that are really cool and things that won't be too hot. Maybe take one cardigan because in December, once you've been there a few months, you feel like it's cold, even though it's not really that cold, you feel it. So I'd probably take like 1 or 2 jackets, but other than that, just keep all your clothes like really light and simple. I actually took like 5 shirts for exercising, like of that like exercise material, and those became my favorite proselyting shirts because they're the best in the hot and the humid, and then just like basic skirts is completely fine. Like, they don't have any problem with that. You can take like 1 or 2 or 3 nice dresses for maybe, you know, when you have like a zone conference or a missionary conference, but your every day-to-day proselyting is going to be very basic and very simple. And that's going to be the best because you're going to be sitting in the dirt sometimes. Sometimes you'll be sitting, you know, on little tin buckets. Sometimes, you know, sometimes a dog will bite you, you know, you just don't want to have nice, beautiful things. And also, if you look super nice and fancy, then you're more likely to be robbed and more likely to be targeted. So overall, I would just be against that. And also, they're like professional dress, just wearing a skirt is professional, looks nice enough. The other thing is shoe-wise, you are walking constantly, and you're walking not, at least all of my areas, I wasn't walking on a sidewalk or nice pavement. You're walking in like, imagine like a hiking trail, but a little bit bigger. Like, that's basically how their roads are. It's just dirt and lots of rocks. So my favorite pair of shoes ended up being my Keens that I took to wear on the beach, but I ended up wearing them every day proselyting. And I think other girls also wore different, you know, shoes like that. And it was totally fine. like the mission president didn't have any problem with it. Like, because that way you didn't get like foot funguses and you didn't have as many feet problem. So, you know, my favorite outfits was, you know, one of my exercise shirts, like a skirt, and, you know, my Keens, like that was my go-to outfit every day. And then, other than that, oh yeah, there's lots of mosquitoes there. So the probability of you getting dengue or chikungunya, or I've heard about the Zika virus now, at least getting dengue is pretty high, or at least having something from the mosquitoes, you know, is very probable. But they do give you mosquito repellent. So this is kind of gross, but I went through a bottle of mosquito repellent a week. So I was like overly aggressive about using it just because I didn't want to get any diseases. So I would put it on in the morning before we left. I put it in the afternoon after our language study, and then I put it on about 4 or 5 when the mosquitoes really started to come out. And so that really helped me and protected me from getting lots of mosquito bites. But just be cautious of that and be generous with your mosquito repellent because the church provides it for that reason. And it's funny because some people would be like, oh, I like your perfume. And you'd be like, you mean my mosquito repellent? Thanks. Other packing advice. Yeah, just keep everything like simple and light. And I would, maybe take 1 or 2 cardigans for every once in a while that it gets cold, but other than that, you should be good. Oh yeah, one thing that I would also advise against is the skirts with like the slip inside, and then there's like a design on top. Those are so hot because the skirt inside like sticks to you. So I had like a few like that, and they were the worst, and I wore them like twice and gave them away to somebody. So I would just stick to, you know, like really easy, like comfortable, like knit materials, or like the stretchy materials are the best. Don't worry, you can look pretty when you come home. You don't have to look pretty on your mission.
The weather in Honduras is really warm. Like when it's in the dry, hot part of the year, you wake up at 6:30 and you're like already sweating buckets. But there was this one day in Santa Rita. It was probably October, November, and December are the wettest months. That's November, it's raining like all day, every day. And I remember we had walked up this hill and we're on this road and it was just muddy and gross, like the whole city is when it rains. It's really muddy. And I could hear rain or some sort of rumbling or something, and I was trying to figure out what it was because I was like, I'm hearing this rain, but I don't feel the rain. And we kept walking, and all of a sudden I started seeing it, and all of a sudden I walked into the rain. Like here in Utah, it starts slowly and then gets heavier, and it was a weird experience to just be standing here and see that like 2 feet in front of me it's pouring down, and then all of a sudden walk into it and it's just like this torrential downpour. I'd never experienced that here. I brought a rain jacket, and you might find use for it, but as like the elders need rain jackets, but as a sister I usually just used an umbrella because it's so hot that even though it's rainy and you want to stay dry, the extra heat of the rain jacket I felt wasn't worth it. And they just got a new mission president, so I don't know if this has changed, but my mission president let the sisters wear sandals. So we'd buy like thick hiking sandals, like Tivas or Chacos, and wear those around. Because if you just wear flats like these or something like that, it's miserable. You need good sturdy shoes. But the thing I liked about sandals is that if your feet get wet, they dry faster. Like you're not stuck in wet shoes getting all blistery and wrinkly. But with the church's announcement that sisters can wear pants in some missions, my mission was one of those. So sisters might want to bring pants. And try to bring things you don't really need to layer. I mean, lots of times as sister missionaries you want things you can layer so that you can mix and match everything. But you don't want that in Honduras because it's so hot. I did get pretty cold in like November, December, because it does get down to like 60 degrees at night, which isn't that cold, but when you're used to it being 100, I'm like shivering the whole month. So I did bring like some cardigans, like light ones that I wore occasionally. Staying safe. In my mission, the missionary handbook says to be home at 9. In my mission, usually elders were home at 9 and sisters were home at 8, so that we weren't out after dark after a while. And mostly just, like, if you're worried about staying safe or anything, I would ask the bishop of whatever area you're in. And I did that lots of times when I got to a new area. I just asked him, like, what are some areas that we as sisters should stay away from? Or maybe go over there during the day, but not at night. Just ask around. You need to be careful, because people will usually tell you that neighborhood over there is super dangerous, but the one that we live in isn't that dangerous. And then you'll go over there and they'll be like, no, that neighborhood's super dangerous and this one's safe. So you have to be careful about who you ask about that. But I don't know, just find ways to do your hair that are up, that you like, because it's so hot. You don't want your hair down very often. Like, I didn't even bring a blow dryer or anything. I didn't even worry about it.
So it's just something, if you're a sister going to Honduras, you've got to know that men are extremely forward and you have got to be careful and be on your guard. And so, I mean, it's totally flattering. I think, if you have lighter skin color and blue eyes and lighter hair, man, you're just going to get catcalls all day long. So, but they're just a lot more forward about their feelings and what they think. And so, you definitely have to not encourage men and to just be really, find that balance between being friendly and representing the church in a friendly way, but definitely letting people know that you are not about that. You're not going to entertain the thought of, I don't know, men are just really forward, and sometimes it's really uncomfortable. What else was I going to say about that? Oh, kind of also about the forwardness, about the culture, is that people can be really blunt sometimes, and they'll say what they think, and you just can't be offended, If they tell you you're chubby, then it's just because they think that you're not skinny and they find it endearing, and and sometimes they'll just say it how it is. And really, I actually admire that, because I think sometimes we sugarcoat things or we suppress a lot of our thoughts, and I think it's so nice to be able to communicate clearly and openly. And sometimes it's hurtful and it's like, yeah, you could have done without that comment, thanks a lot, but but it's just good to know that that's part of the culture and you just embrace it. And I'm not a skinny girl, but I think I knew that before. Like, I knew that the culture is really blunt. And so it never really bothered me at all, because I just thought, oh, they're just saying, how things are. And that was cool. So, but if you are sensitive about things, then it's something to be aware of, to not be offended. Okay, so some things, luckily I had talked to a sister who had already served in Honduras. And one of the most important things she told me is that it's going to be hard to find tampons there. So that's good to know for sisters, that they'll need to buy that. And I, just pack a 1.5-year supply. Also, your favorite makeup products or facial products. Like, it's a luxury there to have American products. And so they're going to jack up the prices really high. And odds are you'll just get a random grab bag of things that they have on sale, though. So if you have a favorite moisturizer, a favorite face wash, favorite shampoo, you'll usually have to have your family send that. So I had packed all of that, and my sister had this little system down. She said she had always sent 2 bottles, or maybe just 1 bottle, and so I'd have 2 at the same time, and once a bottle ran out, I'd email her or mail her a letter and say, send me another one. So by the time I'd finish that bottle, the next one would come. So stuff like that. I mean, you can get soap and shampoo there, but if you're picky about what you like to use, it's good to have that on hand. Things that they don't have for food, if there's like, if there are parents wanting to put together packages, beef jerky is one of those things. Marshmallows, you're not going to see there. I'm trying to remember. Peanut butter they do have, but it's a little more expensive. But I remember wanting to eat peanut butter, but like, it was kind of those luxury things I'd have to save up for. But they usually have almost anything else. I think something good to know, though, is that the stores there, at least where I was, and most places in Honduras, there's not going to be a place like Walmart or a store that has like a certain set of merchandise that's always guaranteed. Like, it's more like a thrift store, but so when you go in there, it's like, we have what we have. And it's not organized like, oh yeah, blue shirts are over there, and you'll see like 5 of the same blue shirts. It's like, oh yeah, we happen to have a blue shirt here, So it's just like this random, it's hard to shop there because it's not organized and stocked up the way we have things here. And so clothing shopping is hard. Anything you're looking for specifically is just a little more difficult. You'll just have to like peek through different shops. I remember, something I wish I had bought. Are flashlights, a rechargeable flashlight. That's something I had to buy while I was there, because the lights will go out a lot. It's just, I don't know if it's the electrical system, but a lot of the times randomly the power would go out. And so it was really nice to have a flashlight on hand, because it's scary walking home in the dark. And so especially a rechargeable flashlight, because it's less expensive. Buying batteries is expensive. So I remember having to, like, on a P-Day, hunt through different stores. Do you have rechargeable flashlights? Do you have rechargeable flashlights? So that's a good thing to have. An umbrella, a really good strong umbrella is good to have. I wore a lot of sunscreen on my missions. You're out walking all day. And I got sunspots by the time I got back. And I wish I had worn more sunscreen on my arms. And something culturally that's totally normal there that you might feel stupid doing, but wearing an umbrella just in the sun all day long, wherever you walk somewhere, just have an umbrella out to protect your skin. I remember feeling like Mary Poppins because I was dressed like a sister missionary with an umbrella, but I was so sunburned my first month that my mission president said, like, Sister Jackson, like, you have got to use your umbrella, like, because culturally it's just normal. So embrace the umbrella and use it for your own health and for the rain. But I went through so many umbrellas because I kept buying those cheap little compact ones, and the wind would just tear it apart. And so just buy a really, really strong, good quality umbrella, even if it's that dorky, like, cane umbrella, which I ended up using eventually because that's the kind that lasts. So that was something I wish I had gotten. Okay. Another thing that I wish I had bought were those microfiber towels. They're really thin and they pack up really compactly. Because when you hand wash your towels, first of all, it hurts your hands and it's really hard to do. And then when they dry, it's just hard to like hang dry a towel and without it getting mildewy and in a humid place. It doesn't dry very well, and they're prickly. But microfiber towels, they absorb really well, and they're really thin, and so they dry really quickly. And you just don't use up as much room in your suitcase. So I would have wished I had one of those. So